Join me for the sound of Om, followed by the invocation. Close the eyes firstly and roll the shoulders back. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the face, the jaw, the tongue. Take a moment to absorb the senses inward, to find that shift in perspective, observing your reality from the inside out. And then join the palms together. Yogena Jittasya Padena Vajram Malam Sharirasya Chavai Chakena Yopakerutam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjaliranadusmi Abhav Purushakaram Shankat Chakrasidarinam Sahasara Shirasam Shwetam Pranamami Patanjalim Harihi Om. Release the head down towards the heart center and surrender there. Release the hands with the palms up. Bring the head up with eyes closed and gently open the eyes. Take Adho Mukha Vajrasana, child's pose. Good, so feel the outer groins descending, deepening. Look for the length of the exhalation to increase, to deepen, to extend. Spread across the palms and feel the palms gently and evenly pressing down. And assuming the shoulders and the neck are all just fine, then point, use your proprioception, use your inner awareness, but point your middle finger directly forward. If, however, the shoulders have a little bit of tightness or anything like that, then you point your index finger forward. Otherwise, more traditionally, it's the middle finger. Now keep that pressing of the hands and lift up and turn your toes under and take Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. In that downward dog, spread across the mounds of the foot and lift the kneecaps. Lengthen through the side body.
so that with your exhale, you can move the front thighs to the back thighs and descend the heel bones down. Work with the length in the side body, through the side ribs, the side waist, in order to be able to descend the heels. And while you keep the heel bones descending, broaden across the mounds of the foot in order to spread the back groin. Then walk the hands back to the feet. The fingertips can go wide so that you have a little balance there with the fingertips on the floor. Keep the legs lifting, but bend the elbows way out to the side to descend the side ribs, to lengthen across the side waist, and take a soft Uttanasana. So at first, to make that more palatable, you may let the weight kind of hang in the heels. But then once your body begins to release, feel how you can spread across the mounds of the foot and let the weight come forward there. And then hold the elbows. Keep the mounds of the foot spreading and lengthen the side body. Change the cross of your arms. As you spread across the mounds of the foot and lift through the knees, also firm your outer ankles in as you lift the inner ankles up. Then keeping those strong, steady legs, walk your hands forward again to downward dog. Feel how the inner groins and the outer groins lift deeply up and back. Again, and that extension, then again, that lengthening there should make it more available for the heels to descend. Then, once again, walk the hands back to the feet. And with your inhale, come on up. And once you come up, go get a strap and a blanket. Let's see. I think I should have brought this more forward. Oops. But that's a little more correct. You can see some of the weirdness on the wall, but that's okay. Okay, so once you have that strap and blanket, we're going to take Vajrasana. So that is, I want you to have your blanket in the square, right? Like so. Just kind of set it down there beside you. Then what we're going to do is, just for a short while, you're going to strap your ankles. So make a loop in the strap. And I'm doing this, well, I won't say I'm doing this because, or I will instead, why don't I say that this is one way to relieve tension in your legs and also to work with the tailbone in. So you see that I put that strap right there at my ankles, a tiny bit above. I've tightened it with my knees together, my ankles together, as tight as it'll generally go. But I put the buckle there in the middle so that it doesn't aggravate onto the skin. Then, of course, I have to just
Kind of swing my legs around. I bring my knees onto the mat so that it's supported. And then I'm going to place this blanket right behind my knees and right into that crease. So to do that, you come onto the crown of your head so that the back of the knees open at least a 90 degree. And so they can relax. So feel for those ligaments and tendons back there. Get them to relax, place the blanket right there in the crease, and then go on and sit back. So if you're ever in the situation, right, where you're on your legs all day, and you just come home and go, oh, my legs are so tired and my feet. Well, this is one way, surprisingly, to release that achiness. I think I'm going to do a sequence on that. I'm going to be doing, I haven't started them yet, but not this part of them yet, but I am going to be doing short sequences for issues like, you know, sore necks or achy knees or, you know, achy legs and stuff like that, and low backs and all that stuff. So there'll be short little, you know, 20-minute sequences that you guys have possibly heard me talk about before that I call yoga vitamins. So achy legs will be one. So while you're here, feel how the big toes reach straight back behind you and how the mounds of your foot spread. Then one hand to the top of one groin, press down. I don't care which one, but the front groin should go straight down. And as you do that, feel that the buttock can descend as well. I was inspired because I told you guys that I told some of you that I was helping my mom's church this weekend. They do fall soup every fall, so, but it's like their fundraiser for the year. Oh my gosh, it's so much work. So yesterday when we were done, I came in and did a bunch of this. Oh, there's someone in the waiting room and I'm all tied up. Do your other ankle. I got to get out of this strap and let that person in. Do your other leg. Oh, 2 people are in the waiting room. Oh no. Let them in. Mickey, you must have fallen out. Okay. There you are. You're back in. We've tied the ankles and we're sitting in Vajrasana. Now, once you've been there for a little bit, I'm not going to tie my ankles just so I can get back in. Once you've been there that time, bring both hands to rest on top of your front thighs. Feel how from the back waistband the buttock flesh descends down. Bring the palms together and Parvatasana. Interlock the fingers with your thumbs together. Press the palms forward. Now, when you do this, by the way, really feel that you're working to flex your wrists. So put the effort a little more in the wrist so it's not just your fingers and the base of your fingers slamming forward. Then inhale and lift up. Now, as you lift, sweep the outer upper arms forward. So the triceps move forward and maintain that lift. Feel how you can work with the length in the side ribs and the side waist here. Take the arms forward and down and change the crossing. Once you're ready, come on up. And then take the arms forward and down again. Rest the palms in the lap. Gomukhasana arms. Take the right arm out to the side. Really turn that arm. And bring the hand behind you. Right. Descend the buttock bone so you really feel how the tailbone is in. spread across the mounds of the foot, even here, and feel how that translates a bit into the broadening of the back groin. Then release this side. Other side, turn that arm deeply. It should feel almost like you're taking the arm away from you. Relax the left shoulder as you breathe, lifting the chest, tailbone in, spreading the mounds of the foot. As the mounds of the foot spread, move the lower thoracic towards the sternum. And then release, pardon me. Turn to your right, palm down. Move those thick back left ribs towards your left elbow. And turn to the left. Same thing, catch those back ribs. Come back to center, Gomukhasana once again. Change sides. Good, release, last bit, turn. Turn to the right. Turn to the left. Come back to center and slowly and steadily walk your hands forward. Keep those outer groins pinned down, but roll the side ribs, frontal ribs forward. Breathe. Frontal groins, descending, deepening. Think of, you guys know that adjustment where sometimes we put a blanket there on the front groins. Imagine that blanket is there and I'm pulling the outer edges of it down. So you keep those frontal groins deepening regardless of where your head gets. The head just goes to where it goes. Then walk the hands in so they're under your shoulders. Inhale and come on up. Lift up, get rid of the blanket. Swing your legs around. Untie your ankles. Oh, a happy moment. Good, and then you just straighten your legs out in Dandasana and open the back of the knees and all of those things. Spread the mounds of the foot. Now, we're going to lie on the back and we're going to take a couple supine poses there. So, look, if it's convenient for you, put the narrow edge of your mat against a wall. It's one of those things that would be nice, but we're not going to use it a whole lot, just a little bit. So if you don't have a wall, it's okay. We're just going to be doing Ekapada Padmasana, which is basically hugging one leg in, and then we're going to go to Supta Padangusthasana. The wall is helpful for those things, most certainly. So if you can manage it, do it. But you know, if it takes you like to another room or something, don't. But you're going to lie on your back first with your knees bent. And relax the abdomen as you press your heels down and slightly forward so that you get that length from the top of your buttock. Now, keep your right heel there. Stretch the left heel to the wall and straighten the left leg, lengthening from your inner leg to the inner heel. Make that leg long and work to, as you lift the left kneecap up, feel how you can take your left thigh down and spread across the mounds of your foot on that left leg, helping to take the left thigh down. Pardon me. Woo. Now keeping the left leg working, hug the right leg in. So again, feel the inner left leg to the inner left heel.
but then broaden the mounds of the foot to take that left front thigh down. Like you want to close that gap between your leg and the floor if possible. And it should almost feel like the left leg gets longer as you stay there. Because quite literally, we're opening up that left front groin psoas region. Now, to change sides, don't just change sides. You're going to put your right foot on the ground, bend your left leg a little, and put both feet against the wall. Elongate to the inner heels. Then spread the mounds of the foot so the outer gluteals gather in and the front thighs descend. Now, thighs down, the tailbones in. Reach your arms straight up, hook your thumbs. Now, work to keep your side waist where it is. Side waist stays down as you take the arms deeply overhead and grow longer. Keep the neck soft. Feel how you can make that length out of your side waist in particular. Switch the hooking of your thumbs. And release the arms, bend your left leg, and get your right heel to really anchor into the wall again. Then you hug your left leg in. Keep that right leg elongating as you descend the thigh.
Good, then straighten both legs. Both feet against the wall. Same thing, thighs down, tailbone in. Reach the arms up, hook your thumbs, and as you keep the waist down, extend the arms overhead. Change the crossing of your thumbs and grow longer. Now then release your arms and we're going to hug the right leg in again. Now this time, hug the right leg in. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the strap. You can make a loop in it if you want to make handles, but we're going to hook the right foot and straighten the right leg for Supta Padmasana 1. So once you do that, work to move the outer right groin towards the left foot. Sometimes we have a traction strap. I'm not teaching that today. But if I was, you should be able to feel that same action that you could receive from that traction strap. So move that outer right buttock to your left foot. Press the left mound of the foot, broaden there, and now broaden the mound of your right foot as well. Just worry about keeping the right leg at a 90 degree. It doesn't have to come in by your face. That's not a thing that we're working on today. More than that, we're working on the straight left leg. And then release that side. Straighten both legs. And then draw the left leg in. Supta Padmasana 1 on the left. Go and hook that foot. Outer left groin to your right foot. Imagine there's a strap there tying that region together. Then broaden the mound of the right foot against the wall. Keeping that outer left hip connected towards the right foot, broaden the mound of your left foot towards the ceiling. And release, hug the left leg in for a moment. And stretch that left leg to straight again.
Inner heels lengthen to the wall, the outer buttock gathers, then spread the mounds of the foot to work to descend the thigh bones down. Reach the arms overhead with the thumbs hooked, or hums hooked. Change the crossing of the thumbs, keep growing longer. Now we're going back to Supta Padangusthasana 1 on your right leg. So hug the right leg in, work the left leg, hook the right foot, bring it up to a 90-degree, connect the outer hip to the left foot and broaden the mounds of the foot on both feet. Now, reach up and hold both straps in your right hand. Left hand can go to the left thigh, and you're going to bring the right leg out to the right into that lateral stage. Do not let yourself tump to the right. Instead, broaden the mound of the left foot against the wall and press the mound of your right big toe away from you. Feel how that is also broadening the mound of your right foot. Keep the right arm straight. Keep the right leg extending and off the ground. Then inhale, come back up to Supta Padangusthasana 1. Connect that outer hip. Broaden the mound of both feet. Then hug the right leg in and change sides. So go through the same steps. You hug the left leg in. Then you take Supta Padangusthasana 1 with the left leg and you connect outer hip to right foot, broaden the mounds of the foot. Hold on to both straps in your left hand. Keep your right hand on the right thigh and start to open the left leg out to the left without tumping into the left. So you want your right hip to stay down. Then broaden the mounds of the right foot against the wall. Press the mound of the left big toe away. And be with those incredibly strong, stable legs. So all of these things do work with tension or fatigue or overwork in the legs. It's just a matter of, how active you want the practice to be. Now, inhale, lift the leg back up. Be in Supta Padangusthasana 1 for a moment. Release that left leg, hug it in, and then hug both legs in. Pull the shin bones straight down. Soften and descend the frontal groins. Deepen, I should say, not descend, deepen. So now, imagine that your inner groins and your outer groins are being pulled towards that wall there that your feet were just against. Take your strap, hook both feet. Urdhva Prasarita Padasana at a 90 degrees. So legs at 90 degrees. Firstly, push up through the heels and feel how the buttock bones reach towards their respective heels. When that happens and the legs have support, feel how the lower abdomen descends. Now, keeping those things, broaden the mounds of the foot and feel how the tailbone comes in and the legs come alive. And just be there. So there's still, even though the legs aren't straight, you'll still feel that firming of the outer gluteals. The tailbone's still in, lower abdomen still deepening, descending. Then hug both legs in again. Release the strap and take your arms straight out to the sides with your palms facing up. And then we're going to take Jathara Parivartanasana with bent knees. So take both knees to the left, go about halfway, then hover. The outer left leg firms to hold the weight of the right. Press the left hand and the abdomen rolls right. then go to the right. About halfway, then hover. Firm that outer right leg, hold the weight of the left. Press the outer right hand and turn the abdomen to the left. Keep your gaze directly up to the ceiling. Come back right through center and go to the left again. This time, once you pause and hover, lift the knees towards your left elbow and roll the abdomen to the right. Remember the press of your left hand down. Take your right shoulder down. And come back to center and go to the right. Lift the knees a little bit and turn the abdomen to the left. So in other words, I want you to be and hold for a moment so you create like a good pathway in the body. And now, on your own, you're going to go back and forth, not holding, just back and forth like that several times. As you do, try and make that rolling horizontally across your lower back even, smooth. So there's not a big thunk, right? But it's just smooth from one side to the next. That takes a little doing, right? For some people, for some bodies, it just depends. But I want you to find out how to build that. And there's a hint. It's all the things we've already mentioned, right? Then, once you've gone back and forth evenly, so you should kind of keep track, then hug both legs in. Roll over onto your right hand side and take downward dog. Come on, lengthen the outer armpits, long and extended. Now feel again how you spread across the mounds of the foot. That helps the knees lift, but also it can help you firm the outer ankles in. Lift the inner ankles up so that you really feel, oh, tailbone's in. Now you're going to go right through chaturanga and come down onto the abdomen. If you have any issues, shoulders, anything, you shouldn't do chaturanga, then just don't do it and just bring your knees down. That's okay too. But I want you to feel how the buttock rolls to the heels and the thighs lift up so the tailbone is deep. Then come on down to the ground. So once you're down, right? Take a moment, put the forehead on your two hands, just pile your hands up and put your forehead down and work to lengthen your front thighs back. So literally, I want you to feel how you're opening the frontal groins against your mat. Then reach your big toes, bring the big toes together and reach them straight back towards probably the wall that's there. Feel how that action firms your outer ankles in. And as you do that, roll the buttock to the heels as the top of your foot presses down and the thighs lift a little. And feel how those things all together move your tailbone in. Secure your tailbone in. So there should be a lot of effort going on from the waist down. Now, maintaining that, bring yourself up onto your forearms. And with your forearms, and your elbows don't have to be any one place in particular, but pull with your forearms so that you then get the sense that you're pulling your frontal hips, those frontal hip bones, forward. So again, you're trying to open your frontal groin against the mat. Roll the shoulders back
And feel that you move your lower thoracic spine in and up towards the bottom portion of your sternum. So it's like going diagonally through you towards the lower front chest. Keeping the buttock reaching, keeping those big toes reaching, and the top of the foot pressing down so the tailbone moves in more and more. Breathe. And then just release and bring yourself back down, but keep those legs working. Turn your toes under, walk your toes in as much as you can, and then push your heels back. So you really get a good tuck of the toes, the heels push back, and your knees will lift up. Now put your forehead on the ground, place your hands by your sides. Roll, push the buttock flush to your heels, heels back, and press your hands down and forward. Now follow the effort of the pelvis, buttock back, feel how those frontal hip bones roll forward. Almost like your frontal hip bones are attaching to your frontal ribs. Take a breath, push the hands down and forward, and come up into chaturanga. Then in any way you can put the knees down, take downward dog. But the point of that is, just be in downward dog. The point of that work is I want you to feel how deeply embedded the tailbone is. How strong the legs have to work to make that embedded action of the tailbone. So spread the mounds of the foot, outer ankles firm in, inner ankles pull up, and tailbone's in. Now you can lift the head a little, broaden the collarbones a little bit. One more time. You're going to take chaturanga, tailbone in, buttock to the heels, thighs lift, and come to the ground. That's it. Good, everybody. That looks good. Now, for just a moment, shift back and sit on your heels, because I want to offer a way to do that maybe is a little bit more, not easier, but maybe more findable. So for those of you that have a hard time with chaturanga in that way, and those of you that shoulder stop, who knows. But it's good to have different ways to do, although I see many of you getting that, and it's fine. But another way to do is with your forearms down. So I'm giving it to you so that even if you can practice chaturanga, it's a more stable, it's a stronger chaturanga. And those of you that can, you can't, then maybe you can find it here. So what you do is, I'm just coming off the edge of my mat, but whoops. What you do is you put your forearms down first and you press your hands so the collarbones are wide. But now you see my hips are really lifted. So I have to straighten one leg, and now watch this part. I roll the buttock to the heels as I push my toes down. And then I do the other one, and thighs are up, buttock to the heels. So I really get that gathering of the outer gluteal muscles to the mid buttock, which takes the tailbone in, but I got to keep my knees lifted so the thighs stay up. And then I really get that embeddedness of the tailbone. And then you just bring your knees down. Do that one. Okay, so it's just chaturanga on your forearms. Don't drop your head. Keep your gaze kind of towards your fingers. Go ahead when you're ready, one leg at a time, but really activate those legs. Toes down, and buttock has to push itself to your heels. Keep your gaze towards your fingers and roll the buttock to the heels. Roll more, more. Push your buttock to the heels. Imagine my heel is on your tailbone pushing down, and you got to pull your chest forward so I don't crush you. Pull your chest forward, tailbone in. That's getting better. And you should feel it's a very deep connectivity in your outer gluteals. Okay, good, everybody. And then go ahead and release down. Come all the way onto your abdomen. Forehead down again. Big toes back again. Get that length of your frontal groin again. And then once you do, press the top of the feet so the kneecaps are lifted, and come onto your forearms again, just like we were a moment ago. So really what this is preparation for Bhujangasana. But when I'm here, let's see if you can see me, the normal tendency is for the shoulders to be a little forward. I want you to pull with your hands so the upper arms turn out and you get the shoulder blades down your back. So the forearms really pull as the tailbone goes to the ground. Then you may be able to find the idea or find the action in those thick back ribs, both left and right. And if you're really attentive, you might notice that one side gets it faster than the other. I always notice my right side lags behind. I have to give it a minute to catch up. Now from there, just press to hands and knees and sit back and look at the screen for a second, okay? So we're going to take this into Ekapada Bhujasana, Ekapada Bhujasana. So mostly you've all done this with me more than once, but I will say, it's not something I teach a ton, but it's something I practice a ton. And I know how critical this is for your practice. So I want to be able to start working with it more. You've noticed since we've been together online, I'm trying to get you more into Paryankasana and Supta Virasana, right? Being in Virasana legs and going back. Well, this works with that. This is part of that whole series. So just watch. So now I'm going to pull my hands. I try and get those thick back ribs in and tailbone down so that my lumbar spine is not brutalized by this. If that's happening, you're probably not working your legs enough. Okay, so then my left arm's going to cross over. I'm lifting my right hand up. We bend, we reach. I hold the inner foot so my thumb points up. Okay, then the first thing I want you to do is push back with that foot. And it gives you a moment to bring the right groins towards the floor. And you breathe there for a moment. The second portion or part, my elbow lifts way up, and I start to push the heel of the hand down. Now I'm going to do that on the other leg, so maybe you can see it a little bit better. So once I hold on, you see that upper arm turns out, it lifts my chest. Now, I grab a hold between the thumb and the index finger, and elbow goes up. And then I just have the foot out of leverage. But as I press the heel of the hand down, my hand turns forward. Then you see how that hip wants to lift. I want to iron that left frontal groin to the ground. And that's the work of Ekapada Bhujasana. And then you'll just come down and we'll come to hands and knees and take downward dog. So that's kind of, that's 2 stages really, right? So if you need to work with a straight arm, that's fine. If you can bend the elbow and start to work on that second one, that's fine too. This is where we're going, get ready. So be on your forearms, reach the big toes way back there. And then press the toes down so you feel your thighs lift a little, the tailbone goes in. But your frontal hip points should feel like they're being dragged on the floor forward because you're pulling with your forearms. Now, cross your left arm over, lift your right hand, bend your right knee, and reach back there and hold with your thumb pointing to the ceiling. Wendy? Yes, good. You got it. You got it. Now, just hold that inner foot there for the time being. Your right shoulder opens, right? I know it makes the right hip want to lift. Now, reach through your left leg, top of your left foot down. And let yourself roll onto that front right groin so that it irons itself towards the ground. Breathe. Then, when you're ready, Bend the elbow to the ceiling, turn the hand and point it forward, and press the heel of the hand on top of the foot. So in essence, that leg is coming into Virasana. So you aim the heel towards the ground by your outer hip and press with your left forearm. So you get to iron those thick back ribs in and up towards the bottom of your sternum. Good, and then release that side. Rest. So go ahead and let the head rest so that you can take the time to roll the buttock to the back of your heels or the back of your knees, so you relieve any kind of pressure that might have come into the lower back. Then come up onto your forearms. Let's go for the second side. So you'll bend the left leg, reach back there, hold the inner foot with your thumb pointing up. Feel how it's essential to keep your right leg active because that helps pull the buttock flesh down. Iron the left hip down, and then as you're ready, bend your left elbow to the ceiling, turn the hand and press the heel of the hand down onto the top of the foot. Wendy, can you hold the inner foot? No, from the top so that your thumb points up and your shoulder turns. There you go. Feel how your shoulder turns out. You feel how that's so different? Good. Keep ironing that left hip to the floor, keeping the tailbone in, keeping the breath going. Good, everybody. And then release, rest. Then go on and take downward facing dog. So find how critical that connectivity of thighs back, buttock down becomes. I mean, it's all the way out of Tadasana, and it just continues really through our practice so that the upper body and lower body remain connected. Now, we're going to go through Chaturanga and come to the ground. Now, if you cannot do Chaturanga from here, you come down and do your forearms. It's your choice, but go on and go catch that Chaturanga for a breath or two. And then come onto the floor, rest, forehead down, lengthen your legs. We're doing the same thing one more time. We need that second one to make it really connect. So as you're ready, come onto your forearms. Tailbone in, lengthen, iron both frontal groins, and then grab that right foot as you're ready. You guys know how to do. So go on and take the right leg and do where you are working on your right side. I'm going to give you 30, 40 seconds. So Orna, when you do that way, it'll help if you put a brick under your chin. Then you'll get those thick back ribs in. Roll those thick back ribs in and go down. Good, and then change sides. Again, I'm giving you about 30 seconds to work on that side. Yeah, that's it, Orna. Good. Yes. So that then when you press the heels of the hands down and the tailbone is in, you can start to get that chin to come off the brick thanks to those thick back ribs. That's really good. Great, everybody. And then release that leg, downward dog. Now, walk your hands back to your feet. Come on up. Let's see. Get whatever it is you need for Supta Virasana. Okay? So Supta Virasana is next. Have whatever is going to make it palatable for you. You know, some of you might want to put a blanket under you. That's something that I always do for myself. I don't always teach it because not everybody cares about having a blanket under them. My feet are bony and it hurts my feet if I don't. Some of you are going to want a blanket behind your spine. Some of you are going to want a bolster or three. It doesn't matter. You have to learn to work where you work. And then once you have all those things, sit in your Virasana. So I think all of you know, if you're gonna sit on a blanket or if you're gonna sit on a block, you have to have that much height extra behind you. So if you're sitting on a block, you need 2 bolsters or the equivalent of, okay? So, but in any case, when you sit back in Virasana, pull the calves away from the back of the knees and turn them out slightly. Sit between your feet. And give it a moment so that your buttock bones really make it to the seat wherever you are. And then once you're there, reach back and grab onto your 2 big toes. Grab them, really grab hold, pull them back, and then lift them up. Pull them back, lift them up, spread across the mounds of your foot. When you spread the mounds of the foot, feel how the outer ankles firm in. So this goes back to that, oh, my achy feet. I did a lot of this on Sunday. And then press onto the mounds of the big toes, and then press onto the mounds of the second toes, and work out your way out at that spot right beneath the mounds of the foot. It's like the upper arch, but it's right beneath the mounds of the foot. Press there and work your way out from the mound of the big toe to the small toe, and do that a couple times so that you truly feel your big toes point straight back, not in, and the mounds of the foot spread, catching your outer ankles in. And then once you've done that a couple times, place the heel of your hand on your heels and push down. Place your thumbs on the back of your Achilles tendon and push down. Place your thumbs just above the Achilles tendon, push down. So you're on that lower calf. Work your way up the lower calf towards the middle calf, pressing straight down. Then place the heel of one hand on that same leg front groin, press straight down. So I'm kind of going through this pretty quickly. Change sides. But you know, all these things can be fussed over. So now to come to Supta Virasana, when you go to lie back, whether there's bolsters behind you or not, you lift your buttock first and foremost. So watch what I do when I come back. I lift and I deeply tuck the buttock to the back of my knees. I am driving, pushing, throwing my buttock to the back of the knees as I lie myself back. The knees can lift, it's not a big deal as long as it doesn't hurt them. Keep the buttock rolling that way until you really start to feel like, okay, low back's fine, then the front thighs descend. If you're on the ground, you hook your thumbs, arms go straight. If you're on a lift, you hold your elbows. Go on. Supta Virasana. Roll the buttock to the back of the knees and feel the front groins then Steadily descend down. Feel how, as the thighs get heavy, the thick back ribs lift towards your chest. Good. Now go ahead and press your elbows, press your hands, come on up, and take downward dog. Open the back of the knees in that downward dog. Really find a strong lift of the legs. Good. Now walk your hands back to your feet and come on up. Okay, good. Are you all with me? Everything good? All is well. Okay. Okay, for the most part, it looks like all is well. Okay, so here's where we're going from there. You're going to fold your mat in half. Not your mat, pardon me. Fold your blanket in half twice, so it's back in the square that it normally is in, okay? Then you're gonna put that in the middle of your mat like that. Now, here's the fun part. Watch. I'm gonna work with my left side first, just because it's facing you and you can see it a little better. I'm getting a little back on my blanket, and I'm gonna step my right foot forward, bending my right knee, buttock down. For years, I really taught squaring off the legs, and I taught that so that people would learn to roll their buttock down in this pose. That's still correct, but I'm just letting you take your foot a little bit forward here, you see, so that once you get the buttock down and that shin bone presses, then you'll feel sort of that lock from front to back. Oh, tailbone's in. This psoas starts to move. Then you come forward, and you can bring your hands down. You want to get kind of on the front part of this kneecap. So in other words, what I mean by that is, if you can see my knee, right? You want to put the pressure on this upper part of your patella, if possible. That's where you're aiming, okay? So back to where I was, right? I bend, you can kind of put that knee back. Then buttock has to roll so the tailbone's in. I bend and I reach and I whoops and I grab on. This hand just rests here like this. My hand's turning inward. Tailbone in. You see I'm holding my foot windy. Look how I'm holding my foot. You see I grabbed this way so that my shoulder turns out and my chest is lifted. Now, I step into this heel and I press the buttock down so the tailbone's in. Now you know what's coming next, right? If it so suits you, you're here. Oh, and you open that front groin of your left leg. If it does not suit you, you're here. The options are endless. There's also a possibility, if that's a little rough, this is where Yoga Works gets this thing that is taught in a lot of Yoga Works classes. You can work with that back knee in the wall crease. It's not my favorite for a number of reasons, but it will grab hold here. However, most people do it with their tailbone out. If you can manage it, and I think most of you can, you're better off learning the true pose without the wall. If you need the wall, fine, but you'll see what I mean when you get it. It's one of those things, it's like it seems like, why not use the wall until you start to really understand the pose, then it's like, oh, in a weird way, you're better off out here. Anyway, right leg forward, left leg back,
Get on the top portion of that left kneecap if possible.
Then when you put your right hand on your right knee, just turn your hand inward like that. It'll give you more support. That's right. When you bend your left leg, catch from the inner foot. Then press down onto your right heel and turn your chest forward. Roll the chest forward, which means you're turning it a little to the right. Buttock down, tailbone in. Now you either work there, bend your right leg so you're deep on your left front groin. If you can turn your left hand and start to work with that left leg like you did on the ground, you do. Bend your right leg, Jerian. Yeah, bend the right leg. That's it. You got it, Derek. Good. Everyone, mind your tailbone and get it in there. That's right, Sarah. I know that's what it does to me all the time. It's just part of it. The balance is part of it, and it comes. Really good, everybody. Change sides. So I've given you the information. Now you just have to figure out how it goes together. And it's not going to be perfect right off the bat if it's something that's new to you. So just know that. But that's okay. And there's usually an easier side. So when you bring your left leg forward, your left fingers point in. It'll give you a better balance. When you hold your right foot, don't try and just do the whole pose. Roll the tailbone in. Imagine my knee is on your tailbone, driving it in. Press your left heel down, press your left hand down, and turn your chest left until it points forward. Then you catch that tailbone again, and then if possible, hold your foot with your right thumb and index finger and bring that right heel towards the right hip. That's it, Harmony. Tailbone in, drive the tailbone in, try and look forward. That's right, Jerry. Good. Great, everybody. Release, hands and knees, downward dog. Then bring your knees down one more time each side. So just go on your own. I'm going to watch the time, and I'm going to give you about 40 seconds on each side. So time starts now for that first side, right foot forward. I'll teach a little once most of you kind of get in there. Now, a lot of you are resting your right elbow on your right knee. It's not wrong. However, I'd like to encourage you, to put your hand there, tailbone in, buttock down, and press that right hand as you press your right heel down, and feel how it works to catch those thick back ribs. Yeah, good. Okay, change sides. That's it. Yes, good, Jerian. Feel what happens there in that left shoulder when your hand's down. You get the opportunity to lift your chest then. Yes, then left heel down, left hand down. If you can catch your right hand on that right foot, go on and press it forward. Breathe. You know, it's that thing you have to realize you pay up front, you know, the payoff comes later. So you're just paying up front for this spaciousness in the body. Go ahead and release that side, take downward dog. And getting into the psoas region and those hip flexors, it's incredibly refreshing to the body. And ultimately incredibly important. Otherwise, it's really hard to keep the tailbone in, right? If those hip flexors are stuck and tight, and that happens when we sit a lot, and just, happens in life. Now walk your hands back to your feet. Inhale, come on up. And set up for Salamba Sarvangasana. Shoulder stand. Do your regular setup. If you use a strap, that would be a good thing to use a strap if you can around your elbows. If you're not doing shoulder stand, it's fine. Do Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. See if that is any better. Those of you who are not doing shoulder stand, do Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So that means you use the brick under your tailbone and the legs go straight. So it can be a low brick, a medium brick, 2 bricks, or a tall brick. But it's this one, right? Maybe you hold the sides of your mat, that you get those legs nice and steady. Okay? So that's the alternative for shoulder stand today. Otherwise, once you're ready, go ahead and come on up into your shoulder stand. Mm-hmm. So again, if you're not doing shoulder stand, do Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Oops, chair out, which is what you do when you put the brick under your tailbone, right? Otherwise, those of you, so this is the alternative, brick any height. Those of you in shoulder stand now, bend your knees so that your heels reach towards your buttock and your knees lift to the ceiling. Be in Virasana in shoulder stand. This is Virasana in shoulder stand. Walk the hands up the back to take the tailbone in. Now keep the tailbone in and straighten the legs. Separate your feet by about hips distance and push up through your heels to again take the tailbone in. Lift the buttock to your heels, tailbone in. And again, keep the tailbone in as you bring the mounds of your big toes together, slowly and steadily, so that then the mounds of the foot spread towards the ceiling and you lift even your toenails up. Bring the mounds of the foot together, Grace, so that when you hug them together, the outer ankles firm in. Yes. So it doesn't necessarily mean they come together, but spread them out of your foot. That's right. And you're going to feel your outer legs get stable. Then when the mounds of the foot go up and you lift your toenails up, you should be able to access that opening in your frontal groin again. So much so that you'll feel, oh, my tailbone's in as I lift and lengthen the front leg up. So connect to that. Continue to look for that ongoingly in your shoulder stand. Then stay with that. You are going to turn, keep the thighs lifted, turn your right leg out so your right heel aligns with your left inner arch. Feel how that turn comes from your right hip. Then your right leg comes out to the right. Extend out through the mounds of the right foot and go halfway down. Leg straight. Outer right hip lifts as you turn your left leg from outside in. Then inhale, lift the right leg back up. Walk your hands up your back. Lift the front thighs up. Turn your left leg out and pause. And now lengthen the left leg out to the side. Parsva Ekapada, mound of the left big toe presses away, knee straight. Turn your right leg from outside in. Then inhale, lift back up. Walk your hands up your back. Right leg again. Turn the right leg out and begin to take that leg way out to the side. Press the mound of the big toe away so the inner leg grows longer. Left leg turns from outside in. Keep the right outer hip up. Yeah, inhale, lift all the way back up. So when you do that, walk your hands up your back. You want to still feel that your tailbone's in, that the buttocks is lifting up. So careful not to hang in the low back. Second side. Go on. That's it. Then inhale, come back up. Walk your hands up your back. Now, keep the left leg exactly as it is, lifting up. Your right leg's going to lower halfway towards Halasana for Eka Pada Sarvangasana. Go halfway down, pause. Push out through your right heel. That's it. Good. Lift the outer right hip towards the ceiling and turn your left thigh from outside in. Good. Now inhale back up. Hands up the back. Exhale, lower your other leg. Left leg halfway down. Buttock towards the left heel so your knee stays straight. Right leg from outside in. Keep that right inner leg lifting up. Good. Now lift your right leg back up. Left leg back up, pardon me. Hands up the back. Tailbone in. Outer ankles in. Now one more time each side. Right leg is going to go halfway down. Now, when that right leg's halfway down, deepen your right frontal groin and stretch through the mound of the right big toe and see about touching the ground. It might just be a touch and go. See about touching down, left leg from outside in, then inhale, come back up. Good. Hands up the back and second side. So you reach that halfway point, knees very straight. Don't be cavalier. And then the left toe goes for a touch and go, but you keep the knee straight and then you come back up. Good job. Now with an exhale, take your legs to halasana. Buttock rolls to the back of the knees. Hey, keep your legs sharp, please. Lift the heels to the buttock as the buttock rolls to the heels. That's better, so that the front groins deepen. Feel those outer groins, inner groins, all lifted to the ceiling. Good. Now you can release your strap. Reach your arms overhead and bend your knees towards Karna Padmasana. So the knees widen. Breathe. Now straighten your legs again. We're going to do this next bit fairly quickly. Put your hands on your back again. Take your legs wide like Upavishta. It's called Supta Konasana. Keep those keep the frontal groins deep. Knees straight. Good. Now take your right foot to your left foot. And there's a twist. So it's Parsvahalasana. Roll the right buttock to the right heel. And firm your outer left ankle towards your right ankle. Feel how that gets your left outer groin to lift up. Now go back to Supta Konasana, so the right leg steps. Find the pose first. Then move your other leg, your left leg to your right. So left buttock to left heel. Right ankle to left ankle. Get that left outer groin to lift up. And the body rolls, the buttock rolls towards the feet like a comma. My teacher says it's like a comma, not a turn, right? Then come back to center for halasana. Reach the arms overhead, look overhead towards your toes. Roll down as you're ready there with control. If you've been in Supta Swastika, or if you've been in Setubandha, you come down. Those of you that were in Setubandha Sarvangasana, come on up, sit in Swastikasana and bend forward. Those of you that were in shoulder stand, roll yourself off the back of those blankets so your arms and shoulders can rest. So everybody should be in a resting pose there. Switch sides if you are sitting in Swastikasana. And then if you are lying back after your shoulder stand, slide back a little further until your buttock comes to the ground. And let your legs rest there over the blankets for Shavasana. So feel there how the frontal groins can be soft and passive. So we're just going to take a little bit of time here, and then you're going to lie flat. So take a little bit of time there to rest the legs. Those of you in Setubandha, just come on up and lie flat. And then those of you, once your legs have rested for a little time there, go ahead and move those blankets or roll to the side, and so you can just come and lie in a different spot, but lie flat now so that you can take advantage of all that space you've made there in the frontal body. Feel how you set yourself up well, keeping the low back long, reawakening those muscles there in the frontal groins, around the tailbone, keeping those areas stable. And surrender and let go. Surrender and let go further and more. Each exhale offering a new sense of depth. And then gently find that you begin to deepen the breath. Bring the hands to rest somewhere on the frontal body, someplace that gives you a sense of peace, stability. And then bend your left leg, reach the right arm overhead, and roll yourself onto the right hand side. Use the hands, press the floor away. Come on up. And that's all for this evening. Namaskar.